Happy Family Day. I was just thinking it's funny how people are so obsessed with everything. Everything's so perfect nowadays. They all have like big fancy trucks and big fancy houses and all the big fancies. And today I was just thinking like I get to live in the house. I bought my grandparents' house when my grandmother passed away, but some would say it's not up to contemporary standards. It doesn't look like every other house. That's the beauty of our little street. A lot of people think it's not the best part of the town, but those are all the little houses that came along just after the war. So my grandpa moved a little house in from County Road 44, and that's the front part of the house. And then over time, him and my grandma, I guess like friends and stuff, did the work themselves and eventually built it into 2 bedrooms downstairs with bathroom and running water, which they didn't have. And then there's an attic that, it actually stayed unfinished because back then people just, they went with less and they all shared a room and everything was good. But, you think of everybody sleeping in that one section of the house, everybody together, the parents and 4 kids, and how it must have been. And then today, that room would be considered an entryway for a lot of places. So I love my little house that my grandparents built. I remember my grandpa telling me about it, and he said that at that time they'd bring in, I think it was once a week, a truck came from the Earn Power Building Supplies or something like that. So, they'd have to plan and have the money and whatever and be ready for the truck to come bring the stuff and pay for it and just basically do it as they could and built this beautiful little house. It's funny, I saw a meme a while ago that said, "Remember when walls used to be like this?" And it was wood walls. I'm like, yeah, I remember because I still have wood walls. I freaking love my wood walls. My wood walls are great. So, anyways, just be appreciative of what you have. I mean, I think this is way above and beyond. It's so many childhood memories from here and all the beautiful things. And then eventually we finished the attic and made a little more space in here because, we had a house full a lot of the time. All the kids and then all their friends and family members and stuff. It was a hopping little joint here, and, it wasn't the prettiest little house out there, but this is one all the people flocked to whenever things were going on, so I guess it's got something going for it, you know what I'm saying? It's the little love shack. And I love it. It's beautiful. Got some gardens, some mature trees that my grandpa planted. He had a huge garden. It was big horticulturalist, and we had to actually cut down one of his trees there. I think it was last year, and it was a sad day, but we burnt the wood in our wood stove, and I'm sure my grandpa would appreciate that the tree that he planted eventually became warmth for his granddaughters and great-grandchildren's home that, he put together with his hands, and my grandma just as much. I don't want to say that he did it all. Obviously, there's kids running around when they were doing all this, and I can only imagine how it was trying to, Grandma was a stay-at-home mom, and Grandpa did some different jobs and stuff, and they built this, and even a garage too. So, he had a lot going on. Back third of the yard was a garden, and he had vegetables and all sorts of plants and raspberry bushes, rhubarb. And he made a patch of poppies because him and Grandma were both veterans. And he really loved the tulips. So he had tulips all over the place. And there was a big red crimson maple in the front yard, a huge one. And we used to climb it, and it was, great shade tree. There's always some chairs under it people sit in, but eventually the town made them get it cut down because they said the roots were getting into the town sewer stuff. So that was a sad day, that tree coming down, let me tell you. And then there was a birch out front and several apple trees, which eventually, they have life. They have an end of life too, I guess. But anyways, we don't need to have everything. Sometimes you can like something and just admire it. You don't have to own it or have it in your house or be like, oh, that's a good idea, but don't think I really want to pay $12,000 for that. Yeah, nothing in this house has cost much, and we're still surviving. And so blessed by God, that just makes all the difference. Thanks God, thanks Grandma, thanks Grandpa. Thanks to my beautiful mother for making it possible for us to buy this beautiful home. Keep it in the family instead of being sold to a stranger. Maybe someday it will go to a stranger, but hopefully they'll love it as much as I do. Have a beautiful day.